Welcome to Real Fake Talk, where we dive into fascinating discussions about books, music, and more, powered by AI-driven conversations. If you're into thought-provoking content with a twist, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this unique journey. For more content, head over to our website at realfaketalk.com.
Ever scroll through your feed and think, wow, how did that dance get so big?
It's everywhere.
Yeah, like, is it just me?
Right.
Today, we're going to find out.
Absolutely.
We're diving deep into how social media dance crazes go from someone's basement to, like, global phenomenon.
Yeah.
And to help us break it all down, we've got our expert.
Hey, glad to be here.
So, I mean, these trends are obviously fun, but, what I find really interesting is that there are also these little windows into, like, culture and technology and how we connect with each other these days, in the digital age.
Absolutely. And what we'll find is that there's actually a lot more to it than just, the dances themselves.
Yeah, for sure. So, to understand how we got here, let's rewind a little bit, right? Yeah. Our source material traces these dance trends, like, all the way back to the beginning of social media. But I'm curious, what was the real turning point? What, changed the game?
I think, without a doubt, it was TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
The app, it's literally built for these short, super catchy videos, so it's a natural fit, right?
Right.
But our source points out that it's not just about being short and catchy.
Yeah, there's got to be something more to it.
Yeah, remember the Renegade?
Of course. Who does it?
That dance, it actually started in Atlanta.
Oh.
And then almost overnight, because of TikTok, it became this, global sensation. Everybody was doing it.
Yeah. It's crazy how fast things can take off.
Yeah. And that's a perfect example of how the app, with its algorithm, can take a dance and just, launch it onto the world stage.
It's amazing how these things spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
But our source also mentions it's not just about, a catchy dance and a platform with a big reach, right?
Right.
There's, a whole recipe for what makes a dance go viral, isn't there?
There is. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
And one of the big things is it has to be accessible. When you think about all the dances that go viral, they're usually pretty simple.
Yeah, that's true.
You got a simple structure. They're easy to learn, no matter what your dance experience is.
Makes sense. You want everyone to be able to join in, right?
Exactly. It lowers the barrier to entry, so to speak.
So it's not just for the pros?
Right. And then you can't forget about the music.
The music, right.
The music is huge.
Yeah.
Catchy tunes are key, especially ones with a strong beat.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's the dance is the visual hook, but it's that music that really gets stuck in your head.
For sure.
And that's what really drives the trend, keeps it going.
Like a perfect storm almost.
Yeah, you need all the right ingredients.
All the elements.
And then you've got to factor in the social media algorithms.
Oh, right.
Our source actually talks a lot about this because those algorithms, they're designed to keep us scrolling, right? So they're constantly pushing content that's going to get us to engage.
Yeah.
And dance challenges, they're practically made for engagement.
Yeah, because you watch them.
Exactly.
You want to learn the moves.
You share them.
You challenge other people.
Exactly. It's this constant loop.
Yeah, it's like its own little ecosystem.
And then there's the community aspect of it all.
The community, yeah.
The hashtags, the challenges, people doing duets.
Right, right.
It all creates this sense of a shared experience.
Yeah, everyone's in on it together.
Absolutely. And it encourages even more people to participate. Because you see other people doing it, you want to get in on the fun.
It's like this positive feedback loop.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting because it becomes more than just individual people doing a dance.
Right.
It turns into this big collaborative, creative thing,
Right, so it's building on each other's energy.
Exactly. People see a dance, they put their own spin on it, which then inspires someone else, and it just keeps evolving.
It's like this ripple effect of creativity almost.
Yeah, it's amazing to see it happen.
It's really incredible how this whole world has emerged,
It's wow.
From just a simple dance move. But, our source also touches on a more serious side to all this cultural exchange, right?
Right.
We've got to talk about cultural appropriation.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, it's awesome to see dances from different cultures go viral.
Yeah.
But how do we make sure it's done respectfully,
That's the key, right?
Yeah.
It's a really good point because our source actually, they give this example of a traditional Polynesian dance that blew up online a few years back.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And a lot of people saw it as just, harmless fun.
Sure.
But then others were pointing out that this dance,
yeah,
it's deeply sacred in their culture.
Right.
And it was being performed out of context
Yeah.
without any real understanding of where it came from.
Right. So it's like you're taking something that has this deep meaning and you're kind of, I don't know, stripping it of that in a way.
Exactly.
Just by like not even acknowledging it.
Exactly. And that's like the opposite of what we want.
Yeah.
So it's about finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
Appreciating these dances, these traditions, but not appropriating them.
Not just taking them and running with them.
Right. It's about like doing the research, you know?
Yeah.
Understanding the roots, the significance
from.
And then treating it with respect, not just as like the flavor of the week.
It's like this is somebody's culture.
Yeah.
It's not just like a fun trend.
Exactly. And I think that's something that's really important to remember, especially with how quickly things can spread online.
Right, because it can go from 0 to 100.
Instantly. And our source also talks about like the potential downsides for the individual.
Oh, right.
Because people who are caught up in this whole chase for virality.
Yeah, because we see the fun side.
Yeah.
But there's got to be another side to it.
There is, because the pressure to go viral, to keep outdoing yourself,
right,
it's huge. And it can be really damaging.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to forget that behind all those videos are real people, you know?
Exactly. And they're dealing with all the same pressures we all do, plus this whole other level of, like, online scrutiny.
Yeah, and, like, the pressure to be perfect.
It's intense, and the source, they specifically mention the risk of physical injury.
Oh, right? Yeah, because...
Like the people pushing themselves.
Totally crazy.
Trying to do these, like, really complex moves that maybe they're not ready for.
Right. Just to get those views.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you've got the mental health aspect.
Yes.
The constant exposure, the need to, like, maintain a certain image.
Yeah.
The fear of negative comments, of getting canceled. It's a lot.
Especially for, like, younger people, right?
Especially for younger people who are still figuring out who they are.
Yeah, because they're still developing their sense of self-worth and everything.
Exactly. And it's not just limited to, like, aspiring influencers or whatever.
Oh, really?
No, our source even mentions that established dance studios and, like, professional dancers are feeling it too.
Wow. So even at the top?
Even at the top. Because the landscape is so competitive now.
So it's like this pressure has just, like, trickled all the way up.
In a way, yeah, because the source talks about how some studios are, like, changing how they teach. They're dedicating more time to creating content specifically for social media.
Really?
Which, you know, it makes sense from a business perspective.
Yeah.
But it also raises questions about, like, what are we prioritizing here?
Right, because are we sacrificing the art for the sake of the algorithm?
Exactly, and that's a really interesting question that the source raises. You know?
Yeah, because it's like, it started as this pure form of expression.
Yeah.
But then you introduce the internet and the algorithms, and suddenly it's a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole different game with a whole different set of rules, and it's constantly changing too.
And we can't forget about, like, the business side of all this, right?
What?
Because where there's viral content, there's money to be made.
Absolutely. And brands have definitely taken notice.
So what does our source say about how they're, like, leveraging these trends?
Well, branded dance challenges are a perfect example.
Oh, yeah, like where they have their own little dance.
Exactly. They create their own challenges. Sometimes they even work their products into the choreography.
So it's like a sneaky way to get you to buy their stuff.
It can be, but it can also be a lot of fun. And it's a really effective way for brands to reach a massive audience.
Yeah, especially younger people.
Especially younger people who are like the main drivers of these trends.
That's like a whole new world of marketing, isn't it?
It really is. And it's all fueled by creativity and music and those ever-evolving algorithms.
It's amazing how it all ties together.
It's pretty wild when you think about it.
It's pretty amazing to see how all these different pieces, you know, like art and business and technology, how they all come together.
It's crazy.
But with technology changing so fast, like, what does that even mean for the future of these dance trends?
Right.
Like, what's next? Do you think our source material had any ideas?
Well, they hinted at some pretty interesting possibilities.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, with AR and VR becoming more popular, like imagine instead of just watching a dance video,
right,
you could actually learn the choreography from like a hologram right there in your living room.
Whoa, that's like straight out of a sci-fi movie?
Right.
That would be so cool.
It would totally change how we learn, you know.
Totally.
And our source also talked about how it could really open things up in terms of accessibility.
Oh, right, because not everyone has access to, like, dance studios and stuff.
Exactly.
So this could level the playing field a little bit?
Yeah, like someone in a tiny village could have the same opportunities as someone in a big city
Hmm.
with like all the best dance schools.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it.
It is. And they even mentioned virtual dance classes where you can connect with people from all over.
Oh, wow.
Learn new styles, share your own, all in real time.
It's like the ultimate global dance community.
Exactly. And who knows what other crazy tech is just around the corner.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to even imagine at this point.
Right. I mean, we've already got AI writing music.
That's true.
So who's to say it won't be choreographing dances next?
It's a little wild to think about.
It is, but it's also super exciting.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here, any final thoughts for our listeners? Like something to keep in mind the next time they see one of these viral dances popping up on their feeds.
I'd say don't just watch it passively, you know?
Right, like actually think about it.
Yeah, engage with it. Think about the context, where it came from, the technology that made it possible.
Right.
Even the business side of it.
Yeah.
Because all of that is there, lurking beneath the surface.
It's like a whole hidden world.
Exactly. And I think it makes these trends even more fascinating when you start to peel back those layers.
I totally agree. Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah, it has.
Thanks so much for taking us on this deep dive. It's been really eye-opening.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and, keep on dancing.
Yeah, keep dancing.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Fake Talk. We hope you enjoyed today's AI-powered conversation and found it as thought-provoking as we did. If you liked what you heard, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. It really helps us out. Don't forget to check out more content and updates on our website at realfaketalk.com. Until next time, keep the conversations going. And remember, nothing is quite as real as a good fake talk.